Hi yogis, thanks for joining my channel. I'm Tovah and today's class is called Wake Up Wonderful. So this is a nice gentle practice, an easy flow that you can do just to get things moving in the morning. And of course you could choose to do this practice anytime throughout the day that you just want to find a little bit of movement. So let's hop onto our mats. Beginning today's practice in just a comfortable seated position. This might be kneeling, you could choose to sit on a block or bolster, cross-legged, or of course you can always stand if kneeling or seated on the floor is not something that's accessible or comfortable for you. And we're going to begin just by warming up our spine a little bit with some Kriya breaths. So what this does is it helps warm the body through the breath, but also the movement is going to help to lubricate and loosen up our spine. So you're just going to bring your arms up and just kind of gently allow your hands to just drape back towards your shoulders. And this should be, again, gentle, very gentle movement. So we're going to begin by just gently turning to the right. This is not the full amount that you can twist, just very gentle. And then let your body just naturally recoil back towards the center. So it's like a twist and a release, a twist and a release. And then once you just feel that gentle pattern, we're going to begin to add our Ujjayi breath here, or our yogic breath. So if you can, inhale as you turn to the right and exhale as you come back. Good, relax your arms down. Just take a couple gentle breaths, maybe roll the shoulders back a couple of times. And then we're gonna find that same movement on the opposite side. So we'll bring our arms back up. Just start by finding that gentle movement. Remember, we should not feel any pain here. And then once you feel like adding the breath, it's inhale as you turn and exhale as you come back. And release. Perfect. So hopefully you're already starting to feel a little bit energized and a little bit warm as we come into tabletop position. And just beginning with a few nice, easy cat and cows at your own pace here. So as you inhale, let your belly fall, lift your head to come into cow. And as you exhale, round the back, scoop the tail, tuck the chin as you come into cat. And just finding this movement here, trying to make each movement as big as possible, finding some movement or articulation through all of your joints. Perfect, and we're gonna work just a little bit more on that spinal movement. So now I want you to look over your right shoulder and push your hips a little bit to the right as well. So like you're looking at your bum, you're pushing it to the side. And then come back to the center and then look to the opposite side. So head goes in the same direction as your tail. So it's like you're making just a tiny little C curve or lateral bend, lateral flexion with your spine here, just nice and gently back and forth. Perfect, and just coming back to easy neutral here, bring your bum back to come back into resting child's pose, just for a few breaths here. Allow your head to rest on the mat, and if your head doesn't easily reach the floor, you can stack your fists, 1 or 2, to give your head a little bit of a ledge here. Perfect, and as we start to find a little bit more movement, make your way onto your knees and then bend the elbows, wrapping the ribs, come all the way down to your mat and lift for just a nice easy cobra. Good, and release, lower the head, lifting again for cobra. This should be gentle, release. And inhale one more time, lifting for a nice easy cobra as you draw the elbows towards your sides, release. Pressing up and back from knees or toes to downward facing dog. And just being gentle with your body here, not moving too quick or too fast or too hard. Soften your knees a generous amount in downward dog. Give your hamstrings a little bit of breather here. Allows your hips to tip a little bit higher to help flatten your back and keep your spine more neutral. Look to your hands stepping there. Exhale, relax your back. Soften your knees, bow your head. And then inhale, engage your back as you lift eyes up, chest up to come all the way up. Taking one sun salutation here. Exhale, swan dive forward, soften your knees, bow your head. Inhale, lift and lengthen your back. Press into your thighs or the floor here. Reaching for the floor, stepping back, coming into a plank, lowering from knees or toes. Turn the toes and inhale, gentle back bend, nice easy cobra. Release and press back to downward facing dog. Raise your right leg and step it or boost it up to your hands. Make sure it gets all the way to the top to lift up into a nice high lunge position. And we're just gonna take a nice arm roll here. So circle the arms all the way around one time to come all the way back to the top. Lift, eyes looking to the roof if you feel nice and balanced here. Perfect, press into the back toes as you turn them flat to drop into warrior 2. Eyes gazing out over the front fingers. Draw your shoulders back, engage your belly. Windmill down to bring the front hand beside your foot. Roll up on the back toes and lift into revolved side angle. So it's your right arm that's reaching to the ceiling here. Perfect, and then you're gonna take that right arm, you're gonna thread it through your thigh, flatten the back foot, and come into side angle pose. And you can keep the hand on the thigh or you can reach it straight out in front of you, engaging your core just a little bit more. Perfect, replace the elbow there as you open just a little bit farther, turning your belly button towards the roof. Your eyes can look down if it bothers your neck, or you can turn to look underneath your armpit. Perfect, as you untwist, bring your hands back to your mat. Roll back onto your back toes and lower the back knee. Turn the back toes under, and you can either hug your thigh here or just be sure that you're keeping your chest on your thigh. As you drop your chin, shift your hips back as you start to straighten the front leg. So you're stretching or feeling a stretch somewhere up along the right leg here, across the right buttocks, through the lower back, the upper back, right to the back of your head and your neck here. And this should just be gentle tension, not overdoing it, just to the point that you feel a little bit of a pull, a little bit of tension. Good, and we're gonna release, just shift forward back to the start. Shift back to half monkey God, tucking the chin down. Shift forward, eyes up, and shift back one more time. Good, and releasing here, tuck the leg back to come into both knees back down on your mat. Shifting back to resting child's pose. Bow your head. And then slide ahead all the way onto your tummy, bend your elbows. Lift for a nice easy cobra and release. Lift for easy cobra, elbows wrap the sides, release. And one more time, very gently, lifting one vertebrae at a time. Shine your heart ahead. Release. Press up and back to downward facing dog as you draw your belly button in and up towards your heart. Relax your neck. Let it hang long and loose. Look to your hands stepping there. Relax your back as you fold a little farther forward. Inhale, big breath, come all the way high. And exhale, take one sun salutation here, swan dive forward. Inhale, lengthen, lift a little. And exhale as you reach for the floor, stepping back, melting down. Inhale, back bending, toes lift, eyes lift. Exhale, release, and press to downward facing dog. Raise your left leg here and step it or help it all the way up to your hands as you come back up in that nice high lunge or crescent lunge position. Breathe. And take one nice big full arm circle all the way around. Arms lift high. And then flatten the back foot to come into Warrior Two or Virabhadrasana 2. Look out over your front fingers, be strong here. Windmill the back arm all the way down to the floor, or you could use a block here as you roll up on your back toes. Lift the left arm to come into revolve side angle. Breathe as you reach towards the roof of the ceiling here. And then we're gonna thread that left arm through, come across our thigh, stop at our thigh, or reach it all the way through, engaging or challenging your core just a little bit more. But remember, this option isn't for everybody. Elbow is perfectly fine. And depending where you are, take one last big deep breath. Bring the elbow back and extend a little further here. Root into your foot. Look underneath your armpit pit as you reach your fingers forward. Perfect, and then just recoil, let yourself come back down to the mat and coming down as you lower your back knee. Hugging the thigh or keeping your thigh and your chest close together here. Drop your chin as you gently start to shift back to half monkey God pose. And if you're not feeling any stretch here, be sure to slide the back leg just a little further back, splitting the legs a little more from the start. As we open up the entire back body here. Remember, this should not feel painful, just gentle. Good, and we're gonna find a little movement here. Release, lift your head up, shift forward, and then exhale, drop your chin as you shift back. Release, shift forward, and tuck your chin, shift back. Good, and release and come back to kneeling as you make your way back into resting child's pose here. And then just coming back onto your knees as you lower yourself back down to your mat. Bend your elbows, lifting, nice easy cobra. Exhale, release. Inhale for easy cobra. And exhale, release. And one more time, inhale and exhale, release. Just pausing to lie flat here for a couple of breaths, either with your arms by your sides or bring them up underneath your head, or turn your chin to one side if you prefer. Wonderful. And now you're just going to ease yourself over onto your back. So I just move my microphone here a little. Good. And we're going to just finish with a little bit of gentle twisting. So knees bent, feet about shoulder width. They might be a little wider, they might be a little narrower. just start to let your knees shift a little bit side to side, like windshield wipers. And they might be just doing a narrow wipe. Your knees might be going further side to side. They might be sweeping all the way to the floor. There's no right amount of movement here. You want to feel your body and let it guide you. Not feeling pain, really not overthinking this. Just let your body move. And now tuck your knees into your chest. And we're just going to come into a little bit deeper of a twist. So stretch your arms out to the side, keep your knees tucked up, and let your knees roll all the way over to the right side. Good, and come back. And then when you're ready, let your knees drift over to the opposite side here. You could always tuck a cushion or a block underneath your knees if they need a little bit of support, if they don't make it to the floor here. Or an easy prop is just to slide your arm underneath, making a little cushion or a little ledge. Perfect, and let's roll back. Give yourself a little squeeze, tuck your head in, and release. Stretch your arms and legs all the way out here. Taking a couple of nice deep breaths here. Tuck your knees in, and then just let yourself roll back up to seated. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice. Again, I'm Tovah. If you liked today's class, please do give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave me a comment. There's also a link in the description that you can buy me a cup of coffee. For those who know me, I do love coffee, and have yourselves a wonderful day, a wonderful morning if it's your morning, and a wonderful whatever time of day it is that you're choosing to do today's movement practice. Thanks for practicing with me. Namaste.